this video, I'll be quickly describing what content we'll be covering this week, as well as giving some announcements and the participation activity for the week. This week, we'll be jumping ahead in your text to Chapter 5. Start taking a look at databases and entity relationship diagrams. Don't worry though, we will be going back and covering Chapter 4 in the remaining weeks. So I'm going to mention now the content for this week, and there is quite a few different things, although they're not as long as our past videos in most cases. So it sort of adds up to the same amount of work as past weeks. But I have a suggested way to go through the content this week because there's a few different things to keep in mind. And my first step would be starting with the readings. So Chapter 5 in your textbook is going to cover databases, and then Knowledge Extension 6 is going to start getting into how we model databases. Then we're going to go over to the how to create an ERD diagram slides that are now available on the Week 4 tab. I do highly recommend you go into those because they are quite more detailed than what's covered in some of the videos, and they will cover a lot of edge cases you might run into. So I should quickly discuss what an ERD is. I mentioned before that's an entity relationship diagram. What these are a way to us to sort of make a blueprint for a database. Just like when you're building a house or a building, you wouldn't just start nailing boards together, you'd get an architect to start making out some blueprints and plans. When we're starting to make a database, we don't want to just start throwing code together or making structures. We want to actually plan it out. So ERDs allow us to make that blueprint or model for a database before we even start using Microsoft Access. So we're going to learn how to do that because in future weeks, we are going to be using those sort of blueprints to start making actual databases in Microsoft Access. Next, I suggest you watch the database lecture. And this will be a high-level lecture where I give an introduction to databases. We won't go into actually how you do SQL or how you create an Access database. Rather, it's going to be high-level discussing what databases are, why they're useful, and getting you ready for the future weeks where we do actually start getting into making them. Then there'll be a tutorial on what is an ERD. That's going to be me going over what entity relationship diagrams are and how you make them, how you read them, things like that. And it's followed up with a more practical example video, which is the ERD tutorial video. And what this will do is you'll allow you to go through it, follow along, have a sheet of paper and a pencil, and try to make the same diagrams I'm making. I suggest pausing the video at each step, trying to solve it yourself, and then hitting play and seeing if your solution matches mine on the screen. After that, there'll be one more tutorial, and this will be specifically how you use the DIA diagram editor itself to make an ERD. So you can think of the ERD tutorial as sort of how you cover the theory of it and how you sort of draw them by hand. Well, the DIA tutorial is going to be how you take those sort of like hand drawings and actually put them into a computer to make a nice diagram. After that, there's going to be some extra homework this week. It's called the ERD homework, and that's not going to be in my lab. It's going to be posted on OWL under homework. What these are a few practice problems that'll get you making ERDs. And as always, if you have any questions about this content or run into problems, do post on the course forums, send me an email, or sign up for TA consulting hours. So that brings us to our participation activity. For this week's participation activity, you'll be giving an elevator pitch for the company you created in Assignment 1. So if you recall, in Part 1 of the assignment, you created a company and that company had to produce something. So now you're going to be giving an elevator pitch, which is a short, less than 10-minute talk about your company that the listener can understand without any prior knowledge. So they shouldn't have to have any prior knowledge of your product, or you, or your company. So this should include your company name, what product you make, why people will want it, and why you think it's going to be a success. So you're sort of trying to convince this person to either like invest in your company or buy your product at least. So we're not going to be posting this on the course forums this week. Instead, this will be posted using VoiceThread. And that's a software that's run for your web browser that allows you to create a little video and share it with the class. So there is a second part to this. And that is, after you've posted your video, you should be able to view other students' videos, take a look at a few of them, learn what kind of companies they're suggesting, and find one that you like, and then make a response to that video. So your response should be a comment, and it doesn't have to be another video. It could be simply text or voice only. And what your comment should have is a description of what you liked about their pitch, what you liked about their company or their product, as well as anything you think could be a problem as their business grows. And it is important that you do keep this positive. We're trying to encourage other students and give them advice that might help them design their company better, as opposed to being negative or putting them down at all. So this part is worth 50 participation points. So in total, this whole activity is 150 participation points. And I'll quickly now jump over to OWL and show you how you would submit this. Okay, here we are on our OWL course site, and you should notice that there's a new tab available called VoiceThread. So when you want to film and submit your elevator pitch, you click on VoiceThread, and it should open up a new window in your browser. If a new window doesn't open up, you'll see a screen like this, and just click here to press to relaunch page, and it should open it up for you. So you'll have a description of our participation activity down here on the side. It's the exact same text that was from our slides. So what you want to do is click on record a slide video or record a video slide, and you have to give it permission to use your camera. And your microphone. So you should now be able to see yourself on the screen. For your webcam, if you're getting errors or having issues, make sure you have the correct privacy settings set, both in Windows or Mac OS, as well as your browser. Also make sure that your webcam's plugged in if it's external and powered correctly. If you're having any issues with this and you can't get the video to work, please send me an email and I can try to help you with it. So once you want to start recording your little elevator pitch, and this doesn't have to be super long or detailed, remember it has to be under 10 minutes. It should just be a summary of what you did in assignment 1, part 1. So you want to explain your company and sort of convince others why it's a good idea. So when you're ready to start recording, hit start recording and it will start recording right away. So make sure that you're ready. If you want to take a second take or something like that, that will be possible. So don't worry too much. You can always redo the video. Once you hit record, you want to start making your pitch. So hello, I'm Daniel. My company is Forest City Ducks. And what we do is we print 3D ducks on a 3D printer. But it's not just 3D ducks. We also allow the user to customize it. So for example, they might get a Darth Vader duck if they wanted, or they could even throw some arms on the duck and make some strong ducks, or even things like Baby Yoda duck, or even use an app to scan their own face or someone else's face and put that on a duck. So here I have the Rock duck with the face of the Rock. And I think this is a great idea for a company because there are lots of companies that sell stuff on Etsy that's 3D printed, but few of them have some great customization options like this. So I think that really differentiates it from other products on Etsy. It's also a great product because the costs for me are quite low. I can just set the 3D printer to go. No one has to watch it too closely, so it's not taking up a lot of labor hours. And also the raw resources like the 3D printer filament are quite cheap, so these little ducks only end up being a few cents to a few dollars each. So thank you for watching my talk and let me know what you think. So once you do that, you should see that it's uploading. If you didn't like that take, you can always hit cancel and redo it. Then you can watch it. So hello, I'm Daniel. My company is Forest Ducks. And what we do is we print 3D ducks. But it's not just 3D ducks. We also allow them to customize. So for example, they might get a Darth Vader duck if you wanted, or they could even throw some arms on the Anyway, once you're sure that you like your video, you hit save. And it'll take a little bit to process it. But once you are at this step, you can title it something up here. You can say, I would recommend just putting your name. And you can see it's processed all nicely, and you can just hit continue. You don't have to add anything else. If you want to add more videos or maybe a graphic or something, you could do it here by clicking add media. But all that's needed is just one video. And you see that mine wasn't even that long. Yours doesn't have to be that long. The only real constraint on time is it has to be under 10 minutes. This should be something that you could tell to someone like you're going up in an elevator with them. Once you think it's good, you hit continue. And this will be your post. So once you're happy with everything, you can still go back at this point and edit things, add more videos or slides, but all I'm expecting is one video. Then you can scroll down on this side, once you're happy with everything, and click submit. After you hit submit, it's sort of locked in, so make sure it is good before you hit that button. So once you've submitted, you should now see a student gallery button. right down here. If you're scrolled up like this, you might have to scroll down to see it. Then you click Student Gallery. So once you're in the Student Gallery, you should see a list of all the videos submitted so far. Take a look at a few that you're interested by just clicking View Thread. This should bring up their video, and you can play it by just clicking this play button.
So hello.
After you've watched it and you've thought up some comments to leave, simply just hit this plus comment button, and it'll give you a few options. So ABC is a text-based comment that you can leave. Phone means it gives you a phone number that you can actually call in and leave an audio comment. Mic's the same idea, but instead it uses your computer's microphone. And this video symbol down here means create a video comment. So you can use any of these options. Any of them are fine for the reply. So let's do an example of the recording. So you can actually mark these to certain parts in the video, but we don't have to worry too much about that. As long as you're making a comment, that's fine. And it's going to do a countdown, and you can. Hi, Daniel. I think that's a great idea for a company. I really like the different 3D ducks that you made. Oh, I don't know. See, if you do something like that, and now you want to get rid of that video, all you have to do is say stop recording, and you hit cancel. Then you can take another take. If you want to take another take, we can go here, start the process again. Hi, Daniel. I think that's a great idea for a company. I really like the Darth Vader duck that you made. I think that as you grow, it might become a bit of an issue because you're going to have to really scale up the number of 3D printers you're using. Also, it might be a limited market. I don't think there's thousands and thousands of people that want customized ducks. So it might be a great idea to start expanding that into other things, like maybe customized cats and dogs, or even more complex models. Anyway, I still think it's a great idea. Thanks for your post. And then it will upload, just like when you made the video. And then you can listen to what you recorded, and you can hit save. And then you can see your comment is there now. And you can listen to it. So if, once again, you don't have to use an audio comment, but you could also leave a text comment. I'm just going to go. This is example text comment. And that shows up a bit differently. It just shows text. So you can do either one. You could do an audio, video, or text-based comment. It's up to you, but just keep it positive. That's all I have for you in this video. There is a lot of content this week, so make sure you get started right away on those readings and lecture videos, as well as the tutorials. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.